One of the most powerful realizations that you can experience as a human being is the realization that you are not your thoughts, right? You are not your mind. You are not your body. You are infinite energy having a human experience. And if you forget that, right? If you forget that you're infinite energy having a human experience, what can happen is you'll start to identify with your thoughts. And every thought that you have, you'll start to believe it's true. You'll start to, you know, run with it. And you have to understand that most of the thoughts that you're having on a day-to-day basis aren't even your own thoughts. 90% of the thoughts that you're having are coming from the collective consciousness. They're coming from the media. They're coming from things that relatives have told you, friends, family, your parents. And so if you've been told constantly since a young child that you're not worthy of love, or your nose is too big, or like your fucking eyes are too close apart or too close together, like it could be anything, right? Like you'll have that ingrained into your subconscious programming, and that's how you'll see yourself. So you have to realize, if you're ever going in what feels like a downward spiral of negative thinking, or just like negative self-talk, you can instantly snap yourself out of it, right? Just by the realization, like, hold on, like, I'm not my thoughts, right? You have to remember that your mind is the servant, not the master. So many people are living in hell in real time because they think that their mind is the master. Or I wouldn't even say that they think that. They just aren't even privy to understanding that they have the power to realize that they're not their thoughts, right? So it's very simple, man. Like, if you're having all of these thoughts on a day-to-day basis and you think every single one is true, if you have the thought that you're not worthy of love, if you have the thought that you can't get a physical transformation, or you can't hit that financial transformation that you're trying to hit, you'll never be able to hit it, right? Because you're literally a victim of your mind, right? You're not the master of your thoughts or the master of your mind. You're the slave to it. And so you have to remember that you're infinite energy having a human experience, right? That's why they're called your thoughts, your body, your mind, right? This is my body. This is my mind. These are my thoughts. I am the energy that is in control of this shit. And I'm having this experience in a human body. And once you realize that, and once you actually take it seriously and sit and take some time to actually think and reflect on that, you're gonna realize, like, you're the reason why you're in the position that you're in, and you've been the only thing that's been in your own way. You literally have the ability to create your reality as you see fit. And so you have to kind of think of, like, reprogramming your subconscious mind in your thought patterns as tending to a garden, right? You need to be able to identify what weeds are in that garden that are harmful, and you need to then also be able to identify what you want to plant in that garden and start manifesting or bringing to fruition, right? So you have to be very intentional, and a lot of people, they're not even awake to that, and so they just live in this, like, cycle of negativity or lack of love or low confidence, like no confidence in anything, and it's just because they're a victim of their mind. They've been programmed a certain way, and they don't know that they can reprogram their mind and create the reality that they want as they see fit. And when you think about it, being a human being is actually really fucking cool, man. Like, you could have been fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could have manifested into this reality as, like, a dog, or, like, a frog, or... I'm not saying, like, obviously it would be pretty cool to be a dog, right? But, like, as a human being, you have the ability to create your reality as you see fit. Other animals, other species, they don't necessarily have that, right? So when you wake up and you start thinking like that, you're instantly going to feel a shift of gratitude, or an overwhelming sense of gratitude, because things could be way different, right? And who knows how long we're here for? Who knows, after this lifetime, where your energy goes. Because I personally believe that your energy isn't necessarily destroyed, it just transfers. whether that transfers from one vessel to another, a different realm, like one realm to another, one reality to another, who knows. But I think right now, one thing that helps me kind of get out of any slump or any negative period is the fact that I have the ability to remember, right? Because when you also realize like you are not your thoughts, it's an instant weight off of your shoulders. But then it's almost like your thoughts, or that ego part of your mind, is clinging on to life. And a couple months will go by and you'll have to remind yourself that, right? Like I have to constantly remind myself of that, because if I don't, I'll start to fall back into those negative patterns of, negative self-talk, or whatever the fuck was programmed into my subconscious mind. So it's constantly tending to the garden, right? You have to constantly tend the garden. You have to constantly check for weeds, rip those weeds out, plant new seeds of things that you want to plant, and then water those seeds, right? And you don't have to constantly check on them like after you plant a new seed, but just keep watering them and wake up and tend to that garden every day. And you'll notice, like, as time goes on, right, like you'll have a new set of thought patterns, or a new set of self-talk, or a new way of self-talk, right? So be patient with yourself. Have some understanding with yourself, right? You master the mind, everything else will kind of fall into place, right? The only way I was able to get a physical transformation was by me understanding that I'm not my thoughts. I'm the energy that is experiencing this human experience, and I control my thoughts. I am the master of my thoughts. I'm not the slave to it. So now whenever I wake up, if I have a period of low motivation, I know how to snap myself out of it, or I know how to combat it. If I ever have a depressive episode, it's not lasting for 3 weeks or a month or fucking 6 months like how it was before. It might last a day, it might last a couple days. It's typically not even a couple days anymore at this point. At this point, it might be an hour, a couple hours, But I know how to fucking snap myself out of it and combat those periods. So now it's, like depression and anxiety, like these are real things, but there are ways to combat it. And a lot of it comes down to your perspective and how you see certain things, right? So, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to make this video as a reminder to myself, right? Something that I can come back and watch if I ever forget, which I won't, but if I ever have a period of low motivation or a depressive episode or anything like that, I'll have something I can come back and I can kind of just like tune into, and it will make me remember, like, oh shit, like I run this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fucking human being, which is the coolest shit ever. I'm infinite energy having this human experience, and I control my own fucking reality, and I can do whatever I see fit. So, who knows? Hopefully this finds somebody that struggles with negative self-talk or depressive episodes or periods of low motivation. I honestly believe wholeheartedly, if you switch your perspective on motivation, discipline, consistency, self-love, you will get out of your own way, and you will create a reality that is truly fucking abundant, and one that you are just truly in love with.